Spinning around. Hey, we are live now. This is my friend Deontay. I'm Boomer Jim, and welcome to White to the Point, a back and forth conversation.
Yes,
I got it.
this is white to the point, and we're gonna have a black and forth conversation.
I got it right this time.
Yeah, you definitely got it white this time. But I will tell you this. I will tell you this. This is actually very exciting to be sitting here talking to the great Boomer Jim. And for those of you who are the uninitiated, I am Gen X Deontay. So what I want to say is first and foremost, Jim, you got the floor. I look forward to going back and forth, or in this case, with you.
Oh,
Going back and
thanks
forth.
a lot. um, well, like we were just talking a couple of minutes ago and last night, one of the big debates that's going around is what exactly is gender? I mean, we were talking about trans males, trans females, sports. Uh, as your significant other was saying to you, that what exactly does define that? So why don't you uh, elaborate on what she was saying to you,
Yeah, so
and we'll take it from there.
The missus, who I consider to be the most amazing woman in the world, with blonde hair. She is the blonde bombshell. And we were just talking about the differences between um, transgender women and women who are biological women. And it's something that she told me about that came from a TikTok, I guess, debate, and it had been all over the place, different podcasts and things like that. So I guess the big debate was transgender women, people who were born men and that they are now women, were challenging the notion that being able to have a menstrual cycle as well as being able to give birth to a human being does not classify you as a woman, and that they, as transgender women, is just as much of a woman as anyone else. So I
So,
I don't know. What do you think about that?
well, that sort of begs the question: what is the difference between a woman and a female? I think we can agree that only females can give birth. By the way, real quick, I want to give a shout out. I see Sean,
Yeah,
BJ. I
yeah.
don't know Dylan off the top.
Well, these are people that I just tagged. I just tagged them
Oh, okay.
so that they'll be able to see.
All right.
We do have two people watching though.
Well, good.
Is someone trying to break
Hi.
in?
Yeah, Val just walked in. Hi, Val.
Hello.
We're live right now on Facebook. What would you
Oh,
like to say?
okay. I don't need nothing.
Hilarious.
No,
I thought somebody was,
that,
was walking in trying to assassinate you at first. I was like, wait a minute.
oh, I'm certain Val has got that desire once in a while, but
Yeah, that wouldn't have been a good situation.
no. So, like I said, it begs the question: what is the difference between being a woman and being female? It's I honestly don't know.
Well, this is what I think. I think that first and foremost, all respect to the LGBTQ community and all the people who are, gender neutral, gender fluid, all of these types of things. I think that the hardest thing to do is to be yourself when other people is saying things about you being yourself or whatever. But I think the problem is that there has to be a line where when it starts crossing into other people's lives and affecting them. I always say that it's okay to do things even if other people don't agree with it, as long as it's affecting you and you only. Like me being black doesn't affect anyone else. Okay. So that's the thing that's what I have to say about that. If someone has a problem with me being black, that's a whole nother story. But I'm not affecting their lives being black. But
You're exactly right.
if you are a transgender person, which I completely support that, I can play frisbee with a transgender person. I can, drink a couple of brewskis with a transgender person. But I think what the missus was saying, and all these people that have the same mentality were saying, is that when you start doing things where you identify as someone else, but you don't make it obvious in your appearance, that starts to confuse people, and then they get mad when someone can't tell what they are as far as their gender. Like, for example, I had saw someone at Wendy's drive-through, and it was a person. I didn't know what this person was because this person had 5 o'clock shadow and eyeshadow at the same time. And I said, I don't know, and it sounds hilarious, but the truth of the matter is, I didn't know how to address this person. But if I would have said, "Excuse me, sir, how are you?" and then it ended up being a woman, well, what do you mean calling me sir? But then if it was a man, I said, "Excuse me, ma'am, I like your eyeshadow." Well, what do you mean calling me ma'am? So now I look like I'm the bad guy, but you're not making it clear what you are. Like, what's where's the delineation?
Yeah.
Delineation at?
Yeah, I noticed that my daughter, one of my daughters just popped in. Minetta's out there. Hi, Minetta. Thank you. Uh, no, a good friend of mine, a dear friend of mine, Ruth, she came, her and her husband, they're both transgender. Came out to visit us one time. And her and I went to a restaurant, and the waiter misgendered her. Because you take a look at Ruth, sometimes you might wonder. And before I could say anything, she was right in his face saying, "I it is not Mister, it's not Sir, it is Ma'am."
Right.
And she is quick to stand up for that, rightfully so. In fact, there's Ruth, really the first transgender person I've worked with who opened my eyes to the world of transgender. I, 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 I mean, I've been around people who are members of LGBT for a long time, and this is something new for me. The only time it comes into question for me, or where I might have an issue, is I can understand why people can be upset with the idea of trans women, like in high school, where you have basically young males, teenage males, using locker rooms and restrooms for females. You, you got to question that.
Right.
I mean, for the most part, you want to give you want to give people the benefit of the doubt, but it's you can't help but wonder: is it always correct? And in sports especially, I've put this question to a number of my friends who are trans women, and they say, "No, it's not an issue." But they've never been athletes. They're not athletic. But you look at instances in swimming, and especially weightlifting and wrestling, you have to think that that a person who is born a biological male is going to have an advantage, even once they transition and start taking hormones. They have years of body development.
Yeah.
Now when it comes to something like chess or ping pong or anything like that, no, there's not going to be any advantage because of a person's biological build.
Yeah. And just so you know, the missus, she talks about how her 4-year-old granddaughter going into a bathroom, and then you have some guy who's actually a girl or a woman being in there. Then you don't really know, is this person there for, really identifying as a woman, or is this a guy just being a creeper and trying to say that he's a woman? And then she said to me that if this had been a thing when I was in elementary school, that I probably would have dressed up like a girl just to go into the girls' bathroom to see that, and just said, "Oh, hi, hi, my name is Susan," something like that. So you always have to wonder. So in that case, you're not making fun of people. You're not trying to deny them their unalienable rights. What you're doing is you're trying to say, hey, now your business is my business because now you're affecting my life and the safety of my child or whoever it is or my grandchild. So in that case, I say, imagine us as heavy people going and putting on some type of, like movement about, hey, you gotta make these bathrooms bigger for us porkers because we got to use the wheelchair restroom, when we want to do stuff. And can you imagine us like just blocking the streets off with all of our protesting that these bathrooms are too small for the hefty people? People are going to be annoyed by that. But if we just did that where it only affected just, us and not them, then they may be okay with it, they may not. And I think that's the whole issue. Like I said, be whoever you are. Be gay, be whatever you want to be an alien. But if it starts like raining down on us personally, now that's when it becomes problematic. And make it clear who you are, because you can't get mad if, like I said, with me and Sean back in 2017, before this was a normal thing, we were in the Wendy's drive-thru, and I'm just like, I don't know. Like that's, this person is wearing 5 o'clock shadow and eyeshadow at the same time. And then he was like, oh, come on, man, being all hypersensitive. I said, this is not a joke. I don't know how to address this person. Like seriously. And that's becoming more common.
Yes, it is. Speaking about Sean, I see that he's in here. He just put a comment out there. Hi, Sean. Glad you could make it.
Sean's pretty cool.
Yeah, he is.
So I know you said you want to say something about Will Smith. You asked if Will Smith was having unprotected gay sex.
Yeah, what is that all about? And by the way, but going back to you porkers, as you put it, I mean, what did you think about the airlines wanting to charge an extra fee for people who had trouble fitting into one seat on the airline?
I thought
to buy an extra seat.
To be honest with you, what I thought was they should charge people an extra fare that have bad breath, because that means that they're taking up their airspace and my airspace. So therefore, they should charge them an extra fee too, because now their breath is not only sitting in their seat, but it's also sitting in my face. So that's what I thought. If you're, be even Steven about it.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what. The one thing that I hate when I fly is that middle seat. Invariably, if I get the middle seat, I've got a person on either side of me who, if nothing else, they don't realize that, hey, one of those armrests are mine.
Exactly.
I mean, there's nothing worse than sitting in a plane like this for like 4 hours.
Yeah, apparently that's what I do to people. I don't know. These childbearing hips won't quit, at least not yet. I don't know.
Yeah,
man.
But what's this about this story about Will Smith having sex with, what's his name, Dwayne something?
Dwayne Martin.
Yeah, what's that all about?
Well, the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. The Fresh Prince is getting fresh, I guess, with a guy. Listen, I don't know what to think about that. They always say that Hollywood is actually called Hollyweird. And so I don't know.
I'll go with.
Now here's the thing. I love Master William. I love him. I think Will Smith is amazing. I think, he is a great actor. He is a great slapper of comedians. He's exceptional at what he does. However,
Oh, yeah. He's Mr. Summer.
Yeah, I don't know if he's jackhammering people in their back door. I don't know if he's doing that. And I don't know if people are doing that to him. However, I will say that I hope that that's not true, only because he's two-timing his wife, and we know that she deserves better. Come on, let's face it. Jada is probably as upstanding of a spouse that you can possibly have. So if Will Smith is having hot gay sex with Dwayne Martin,
seriously, Jada
deserves.
Seriously.
She deserves a husband that's going to be upstanding, not down laying.
After what she did to him, give me a break. I mean, I don't blame Smith for being upset there at the Academy Awards. I thought he was wrong to slap Chris Rock, but I certainly understand why he got upset. Now, the thing that I noticed on that was he wasn't going to do anything until she looked over to looked at him and basically, hey, are you going to do something about that or not? I mean, he was getting ready to laugh at that joke.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that Will Smith, I'm used to seeing him smack guys on their butt, not their face. That's the thing, you know. So Dwayne
There,
Martin, I don't know. I guess he's collateral damage. You know, I don't know. I hope that Will Smith gets it together and decides who he wants to be loyal to. His homosexual relationship with someone outside of his marriage, or his wife who has been very loving every time that it's just him and her in the bed. She has not cheated on him when he's been around that I know of.
I was going to say, have you been there to verify that?
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
how?
Where's Uncle Phil when you need him? It seemed like Uncle Phil was able to get Master William a little bit more under control than this nightmare. He's become officially a train wreck. I thought Amy Schumer was in train wreck, but I guess
Oh,
it's weird. I don't know.
Amy Schumer, that there's a character. She had a cooking show on the Food Network for a while. It had a total of 6 episodes over 2 seasons,
Wow, that's embarrassing.
and it was bad. I mean, it was really, really bad. I don't know if Sean watched them, but when Sean and I were doing the food cross country food wars, we put on a better show than she did.
It's humiliating. But you know, Amy Schumer is one of those people. I actually think she's hilarious. She really is. It's hilarious that she thinks that she's hilarious. But no, she's very talented, and she may not
Oh,
necessarily be Roseanne, but Roseanne is where it's at.
I'll take Sarah Silverstein before Amy Schumer. I mean, Amy's just no. She's just not funny in my book.
I don't know. I don't know what can you say.
But
I know you said you had something you want to vent about that's happening in Vegas.
oh yeah, and I'll wrap it up on this. This F1 race, this Formula One race. They come in months of construction. They block the views that I mean, what everybody wants to see in Vegas when they walk down the strip. They put up these grandstands on the bridges. They put films up so people can't see the strip because they don't want people to watch the race for free. They blackmail the hotels basically, charge them outrageous fees so people who are in their room can't look down on the strip. And it just ruined the entire Las Vegas Strip experience for millions of people, millions of tourists. For what? 3 days, and the very first night of practice runs, they had to cancel the practice after only 8 minutes because of a loose manhole cover.
Did you say manhole? A
Yeah.
loose manhole? Are we back to talking about transgender?
Well, you would know about that. I
Will
know.
Smith? Oh,
Yeah.
listen. I promise you, I'm not that gay, especially sober. I promise you that. I swear.
Well, I understand you can go in for surgery to get that problem fixed, but
There's nothing wrong with the LGBTQ community. Like, just so you know, that's not what we're saying. But anyways, yeah, that Vegas problem sounds like a nightmare.
oh yeah, supposedly they're going to bring in an extra like $1 billion of revenue. I doubt it. I
Wow.
really do. But we'll see. But in the meantime, it's months of disruption, hurts the tourist trade. Locals are avoiding the strip like crazy. There's a number of restaurants that they have seen. There's one restaurant that said they have seen 100 cancellations a night of reservations because people don't want to deal with trying to get to them because of the traffic and the construction.
Wow. Well, you know what that means?
Yeah.
That means that we got to get Trump back in office. Because if we get Trump back in office, he's going to make that all irrelevant. He's going to neutralize the problem by isolating it first, and he's going to make America great again. Seriously. We need the Donald. There is no greater genius in the history of American life than Donald J. Trump.
I said it. I said it before. I will grant that he is quite possibly the greatest showman on earth. I think he might very well be bigger than P.T. Barnum when it comes to showmanship.
Yeah, he's bigger than PT.
But
He's BS Trump. That's even bigger. I'm telling you, he's the guy. He's the guy.
well, all I'm going to say on that is what I think about him today is different than I thought about him 7 years ago or 8 years ago when he came down the escalator. By
Yeah,
the way, when was that? That was almost what 8 years ago. It's
yeah.
pretty much
It was June 2015.
yeah, over 8 years ago.
Yeah, I tell you what. When I first was getting a gander at Trump as a politician, my whole thought of him was based on my second book, and that is, face it, dude, you're toxic. But then I realized that Trump was better than I expected because he's such a genius at getting smart people to do dumb things and go along with his rhetoric. Then I said, you know what? Winning is actually for losers. So he might be a loser, but he's winning. So that's what I'm saying. That's my whole thing.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is how you plug a book on a different show, right there.
Yes, and Master William, that is not how you plug a Dwayne Martin. Okay, that's not how you do that. So please go
Okay.
back to acting, and not slapping and plugging.
Yeah, let's see another Wild Wild West or Independence Day or anything else. Go back to being Mr. Summer, Mr. July.
Yeah, because this wild, wild mess that we've been seeing, we don't like that
Exactly. And
one.
on that note, let's go ahead and wrap this one up. We've gone for what, like 22 minutes. We said we're only going to go 10. So guess what? We get talking, and that's how it goes.
Exactly. That's because we didn't necessarily get white to the point. We just had a black and forth conversation.
Hey, that's fine with me. But on quickly on a serious note, on to the members of the LGBTQ, be you, do you. I mean, I don't care. Quite simply, I don't care. I mean, why should I?
Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with being different, especially you know, when you're brave in the face of people saying things. That's not what we were talking about. We're talking about when it starts affecting other people, and now it's this whole other situation. But we'll delve more into that at a different date.
Yeah,
We
it's
do-
like Deontay said. He's black. He can't help that. I'm a boomer. I'm old. I
yeah,
can't do anything about that.
my blackness doesn't actually affect you. Now, Jim's supremacy, his white supremacy sometimes affects me. I don't know if you can see the burns, but I'm just saying, like no, I'm just joking. But seriously, it doesn't affect, but just each one teach one and live and let live. But make it clear who you are. Like, just be full on. And if someone gets it wrong, don't get mad at them. We just got it wrong.
Yeah.
If I
All
told
right.
you my name was Cindy, do I look like a Cindy to you? So if you say, "Oh, your name's Kyle," right? I'm like, "No, it's Cindy." I would be crazy to get mad at you because I don't seem like a Cindy.
I was going to say Jerome or Jeremy, maybe.
See, even Jim with
I
his,
don't think of Jeremiah.
even
but-
with even Jim with his stereotypes and his very very muted white privilege, even he's not offending me with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about that. So it's okay. It's okay.
Deontay, as always, it's a pleasure. It's fun. We'll talk later. We'll see you all next week, folks.
Happy Thanksgiving, guys.
Hasta.